And good afternoon. Welcome to Today at the Races presented by Fidelity. First, I'm Stanton Salter. Tim Tulloch joining me this afternoon. We have a lot to get to. Big carryover in that Rainbow Pick 6. That's starting race 4, a little over 46,000. The Stronach 5, the popular national wager. That starts race 9. But first, a big day yesterday. We kicked off the 4-day race week yesterday. Jockey Victor Carrasco, he had a 2-win day. He won the feature. Cordmaker, a big win in our nice allowance feature yesterday for Mrs. Ellen Charles Hillwood stable and trainer Rodney Jenkins. And talking to Jenkins in the winner's circle after the race, if all things go well, Cordmaker pointed to the Grade 3 Pimlico Special.
Well, Cordmaker coming out of the Harrison Johnson, things went really well for him going into that allowance race, and that was no give me of an allowance race. They smoked at 120 and 121 and change, and ran a big race. But he's a funny little horse. He got to the lead and put his ears up like, dudes, how come you can't go with me? And they couldn't. He come running. It was a great race.
Probably got another 90-plus buyer.
Absolutely.
My prediction. So he's a local Maryland horse, trains right here at Laurel Park. So all the local horses having a big spring at Always Mining and the Lasitas and Lakai last Saturday, and Cordmaker for Rodney Jenkins and Hillwood Stable after that big win yesterday. Hopefully we'll see him in the Pimlico Special. All right, let's get right to it today. The popular national wager once again starts off here at Laurel Park. There's the guarantee, $100,000 guarantee. Now, forget that. They've been betting around $200,000 into the Stronach 5. I would say around $200,000 is probably the average. And last Friday, we had 19 winning tickets at, I believe it paid a little over $9,300 last Friday. So once again, another big payout last week. I think we'll have another big payout this weekend because there's some wide open races. Let's show you the lineup for today's Stronach 5. Both Tim and I have tickets. It's going to start Laurel Park race 9. That's going to go off about 5:09 Eastern time. Then we go to Gulfstream race 9, Gulfstream race 10, and Golden Gate Fields race 5. We wrap it up at Santa Anita Park for race 5. It's a little bit over an hour, 4 different racetracks. You have some big fields on the turf. It's a big field on the turf for the first leg of it right here at Laurel Park race 9.
It is, and leg B at Gulfstream Park, I think that's the tricky one. You get by leg B.
5 deep there.
Yeah, I went 4 deep there, You get by leg B, you're in with a shot, but you've got to get by leg B. No question about that.
All right, so we'll show you our tickets when we get to race 9 here at Laurel Park. That's the first leg of that popular Stronach 5. Let's show you the carryover in our 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. That's going to start race 4 today on the 9-race program. That's a nice, healthy chunk of change there, $46,930. Tim, you'll have a ticket for it. That starts in race 4, so don't sleep on the Pick 6 today. Let's show you a picture of both racing surfaces today. A little overcast right now. They're calling for some rain maybe later on this afternoon, but we're going to be fast and firm. There you saw the main track was sealed, turf looking green and as lush as ever. And there's the weather in the 70s, cloudy, fast and firm. Chance of rain maybe later on this afternoon. So we'll keep you updated on all the track conditions. Let's get right to race 1. Race 1 will kick off the Rolling Super High 5. That has a low 15% takeout. The Super High 5, we have that every race with 7 or more horses, so keep your eye on that throughout the day. Also, race 1 kicks off the popular early Pick 5. You get the bigger handle in this early Pick 5. The multi-race players, they really attack it. It's a mandatory payout, this early Pick 5. Industry low, 12% takeout. And the early Pick 5 paid well yesterday. I forget what it paid. It paid well. I know the late Pick 5 paid over $6,100 yesterday. So, as always, you get more money back in your pocket with that industry low 12% takeout. Let's check out my ticket for the early Pick 5. I have a $32 ticket. I go 4 deep in race 1. That's a maiden 10. Going 6 furlongs. Go as deep as you can there. I go with the 1, 4, 5, 7. Race 2 is a maiden 25 turf sprint. I go with the 3 and the 6 there. The 6, Jenny Highway, my price play of the day. Trevor McCarthy on that Seville filly, a first-time starter for Ann Merriman. She's 12-1 morning line. Check the early tote there on the 6, Jenny Highway in race 2. Race 3, my best bet of the day. Jam job here for Claudio Gonzalez. The 6 She-Core, 7-5 morning line, supposed to win. I'm not going to try to beat her, so I'll key on the 6 She-Core in race 3. A turf route, 16,000 2 life in race 4. That's wide open. I go 4 deep there with the 3, 8, 9, 10. And then race 5, a nice starter allowance going long on the turf. And I have 2 pretty nice animals in there. The 5 Cabinet pick for Jorge Duarte and Colts Next Stable. Toledo rides the 5. And then on the 12, I get Victor Carrasco on the 12 Boundary Pass for Kelly Rubley. So I like the 5-12 there in race 5. $32 ticket for my early pick 5. Let's take a look at this wide open first race. Going 6 furlongs, maiden claiming 10,003 and up, and I go to the 7 on the outside. Perfect Air for Hammy Smith. Julio Correa, the 7-pound apprentice, will ride. And this will be the first time Correa gets aboard. This 3-year-old son of Jumpstart ran well at this level last out. A good second. That's been his best result so far, and his best buyer speed figure so far. So hopefully Hambone has him going in the right direction. Hammy had this mare. He bred this horse, so he's trying to trying to get out on the horse, so he has him in at the right level.
Well, he certainly it certainly does. And since dropping to this maiden $10,000 level in mid-February, he's run 3 really positive races, including that decent race while running second in his last. Now he gets Correa, the hottest bug rider here at Laurel Park right now, so that certainly won't hurt. But look, this horse is knocking at the door at this level. He could get through it today.
All right, so we both like the 7. We both like the 1. Your top pick. Once more, A. Get McCarthy aboard for our man Charlie L. Frock. This 3-year-old has some early speed.
He's got some early speed, dropping from the maiden 16. He was in for maiden 16 in his last start. Got beat 7 lengths that day, but had a little trouble at the break. Now, that's his problem. He does have trouble at the break. If you look at his trouble line, you'll see that he's had some difficulty at the break. Now he draws the 1 hole, so he's going to have to overcome back. But he gets Trevor McCarthy, who's one of the best, if he is not the best, gate riders here at Laurel Park.
All right, so yeah, he'll be sharp. I used the 1 in my exacta. We like the same 4 horses here. The 5, Sing a Verse for Ferris Allen, Jorge Riez on this Great Notion 3-year-old. And he woke up last out, ran a big 50 buyer, good 3rd at this level. So that was his 3rd career start. Looks like he's going in the right direction, and he finds a good group today.
Well, he sprinted for the first time on a fast track. He went 7/8 of a mile on a fast track. That proved to be too long, but he got 3/4 of a mile on a fast track in his last start. It turned him around a little bit. I expect him to run well again today. He's in my exacta.
All right, and Belmonte, the 4, beaten favorite at this level. Last out, going to show speed once again. You're going to have to finish better today for trainer Marco Salazar.
Well, certainly will have to. And second off, a little bit of a layoff with a work since that last race right here at Laurel Park, half and 49 and change. So you would expect Belmonte to move a little bit forward.
All right, so we like the same 4 horses there in the opener. I go 4 deep with the 1, 4, 5, 7 to kick off my early pick 5. Let's turn the page. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the Exceller turf course, rail setting at 70 feet. Maiden claiming 25,000. Filly mares 3 and up. My price play of the day, I see Trevor McCarthy at 12-1 here. The 6 Jenny Highway. This filly is by Seville, who's by Galileo. So these Sevilles, they've come out running. He's a sire of Lasitas, a multiple stakes winner. You have to think they're going to like the turf eventually. Trevor McCarthy takes the call here for Ann Merriman. Some decent works over there at Pimlico. A couple bullet workouts over there at Pimlico back in March. So hopefully this guy is well prepared for his 5.5 debut on the turf.
Yeah, you see Trevor McCarthy at 12-1 on the line. You kind of get a little shaky. You're like, okay, this could be fun here. But look, Ann Merriman, she's very, very good with her turf horses. She probably does a little bit better with her turf horses than she does with her main track horses. Comes in here with some good works going back to the 1st of March. I didn't use this horse by Seville out of a point given mare with some turf pedigree there, but I'd like to see the turf pedigree a little bit deeper than that. That doesn't mean this one can't win. Just stuck in the middle there when they're going to be all running fast is going to be a little tough for Genie Highway. Going to have to get away really good.
Yeah, this is a big field. Take out the MTO horse, the 10, and so you're left with the 14. Yeah, 14 horse field in the second race. Let's take a look at your top pick, Bargain Beauty. a first-time starter from the outside here, 5-year-old mare by Midnight Loot for Chucky Lawrence.
Yeah, and this is my price play of the day, Bargain Beauty, getting to break from the outside, and always not the best place to be, but with this long stretch on the turf course at Laurel Park, if you get a little outbroke or a little bit outrun, you can make up the ground, especially if you're out in the clear. But this horse comes in here with a solid work pattern going all the way back to January. Chucky Lawrence very good with his first-time starters, hits 21% of the time by Midnight Loot out of a Holy Bull mare. That's good enough for me to get on the grass first time out and get the job done. Again, with all these young horses, the break is everything, going to be important for Bargain Beauty here today. But I like the outside draw, and Katie Davis, she's always hustling.
Yeah, patient handling here for this 5-year-old mare, but they finally have her to the races, and they have a nice spot for her debut today. So
yeah, well spotted
like
in for the maiden 25. We're not going to get crazy. Good works for this level.
All right, so I like her as well. I use her in my top 3. We both like the 3 here. Silver Sides making her turf debut. She's by Bandbox for trainer Mike Girales. Daniel Centeno, very good on the turf. He rides here, and this horse an all-right 4th at this level, last out on the main track, and she's never been better than 3rd, and she's trying the turf today. But you get Centeno aboard for a good barn. That's what caught my attention.
Well, exactly, and she's in really pretty good form over her last 4 races since having that little bit of a break from October to December. She's come back running at this $25,000 level on the main track, and now the turf, it might make her a little better. She could appreciate the turf by Bandbox, who's by Tap It Out of a Quiet American Mare. But the key here, and you nailed it, you're getting Centeno, and Centeno might be one of the best turf riders on the East Coast, if he's not one of the best turf riders in the country.
Yep, he's very good. He won a stake on the grass last Saturday, so we both like the 3. I didn't use the 13, this filly, for Donna Lockhart. This horse, a big second sprinting on the turf last September. That was against Maiden 16,000, but at least she has a little turf experience on her resume. Forrest Boyce will ride the 13. Odds ever in your favor.
Turf experience and turf pedigree, despite the odds, out of a 2-punch mare, and with good turf races. So I decided to take a little shot on odds in my favor. Wood Force Boys comes in here with some decent breezes leading up to her return. She hasn't run since November of last year.
All right, so a wide open 14-horse field in race 2 to kick off that early pick 4. I go with the 12-1 shot on top, the 6 Jenny Highway with McCarthy. Tim goes with the 14 Bargain Beauty at 6-1 for Chucky Lawrence. A nice horse race there in the second. Expect a big handle there in race 2. Let's turn the page. Race 3, we're going 6 furlongs, claiming 5,000 filly mares 3 and up. Haven't won a race in 6 months, never won 4. That's the condition. Neither one of us try to beat the favorite here. 7-5 on the 6 She-Core for trainer Claudio Gonzalez. The barn was a little cold, and they won 4 races. Bad, boom, 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 and they're supposed to win with this 4-year-old daughter of Frisian Fire. She's a 4-time winner at Laurel. Claudio claimed her for 12-5. That was an open 12-5. She was an okay 4th. An okay 4th, first time Claudio last out. That was against open 16,000. So she's getting a big-time class relief today, and you get 7 pounds off with the apprentice Antonio Quills.
Well, you're certainly getting some class relief. 2 starts back was going long, a mile and 16th the day that Claudio claimed her, and she didn't run bad. Then she came back in the 16,000 going 7/8 of a mile, a distance that can be a little tricky. However, today she gets not only the benefit of dropping to the $5,000 level, she gets a distance where she's very effective. She's run 7 times going 3/4 of a mile with 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. And, of course, you're getting Antonio Quills for Claudio Gonzalez. And Claudio, he's not running as many horses here. He shipped some horses to Delaware, so he's not running as many here as he usually does. So, his numbers are going to slide a little bit here. But it looks to me like if he's got a dependable horse in the race, you can depend on it.
So we like the same 4 here with the 6 She-Core on top, the 7 Splendor Gal with the Correa, the Bug Boy aboard for Mark Reed. Just a couple okay 4ths at this level her last couple starts. She does come into today's race with a sharp bullet work at Pimlico, April 13th in the mud, 36-2.
Yeah, in her last race wasn't a bad effort. She got beat 5 lengths, and Correa lost his stick in the stretch, and sometimes you need a little encouragement, and he didn't have that in the lane 2 starts ago, going this distance, going 3/4 of a mile, was a big race. Only got beat 2 lengths to That There's Gold. My Chess of Charm would come back and win, so coming out of a decent race there. So I expect Splendor Gal, with that big work behind her in between races, to come back running today for Mark Reed.
All right, we both like the 5 Cocktail Waitress. We have a video spotlight of this filly, a Maryland-bred filly by Jersey Town. Here's the race from April 6th right here at Laurel Park. A winning effort. This was against 8003 Life Company, and trainer Thomas McMahon finds a nice spot for her today.
Certainly does. That was a beaten $8,000 race, and I'm happy to say that was one of my wine festival picks of the day. Cocktail Waitress, why not? And it made perfect sense. So we got that done for the group that was joining us that day. But that was a good race. I mean, she was getting a little late. She hung in there. She didn't give up, and now she gets a little class relief today for Thomas McMahon and Javion Toledo.
All right, see if we can get Shecor home here in race 3. Let's get a quick commercial break. We have plenty of time. The Rainbow Pick 6 carryover, a little shy of 47,000. That starts in race 4. The popular national wager, the Stronach 5, with that big $100,000 guaranteed pool. That starts in race 9 today right here at Laurel Park. We'll take a look at all that right after this. All right, welcome back. Get your tickets now for the 3rd Saturday in May at PimlicoPreakness.com for all your tickets and information. You can still get tickets for the Turfside Terrace and the Infield Fest. Turfside Terrace, that's always one of the more popular spots out there. All you can eat, all you can drink all day long.
Well, just on that, it's a popular spot. But if you want to watch a horse race from a very, very unique position, it's a Turfside Terrace, especially when they run races on the grass, because they're from me to the wall. I mean, 10, 12 feet, and when they go by, you certainly understand the speed and the power when you're in that Turfside Terrace.
All right, so tickets still on sale for that. Go to Preakness.com. Big carryover today, and our 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 starts in race 4. Let's show you the carryover. It's $46,930. That'll be well played. They've been betting a bunch of new money into this Pick 6 the past couple days. Last Monday, they bet it heavily. Yesterday, I want to say they put around 25,000 new money into it. So this will be well played today, maybe around 60, 70,000, maybe around 70, 75,000 when it's all said and done with that big carryover. Tim, you have a ticket today. Let's check it out, see how you played it.
I do. A nice $57.60 ticket. In race 4, I go 3 deep using the 1 Tracy with a Y, the 7 Juniper Avenue, and the 9 Electro for Mike Trombetta, a horse coming from Florida, making his first start back up here on the grass. So race 5, I go 4 deep here using the 5, 6, 8, and 12 in the 6th race. I go 4 deep again here in this maiden 10 using the 1A, 4, 6, and 10. Race 7 is my single, and I single in this race on the 10 Family Tree. Sheldon Russell rides for Jeremiah O'Dwyer, making his Laurel debut after 2 positive races at the fairgrounds. Nice outside draw for Sheldon Russell, going a flat mile. 3 deep in the 8th race using the 1 Hot Choice, the 2 Jump for Sally, and the 4 Salt Works. Half to Sophia. What's her name?
Catherine Sophia.
Yeah, Catherine Sophia. We don't want to leave that out this week. A half to Catherine Sophia. And race 9, I go 2 deep using the 7 and 9. $57.60. Good luck if you play along in the Rainbow Pick 6.
That's a nice allowance race 7, where you have your single, nice allowance going a mile in the bowl game. I didn't use the 10 Family Tree at all. You're getting 9-2, nice price. He's a first-time gelding. He's by Galileo, the world's leading sire. I toss him.
Hey, look,
Well,
I tossed.
he has one.
I tossed the horse that went first time on the turf the other day that you were all over.
Justin Nixon.
Justin Nixon. Exactly.
Nixon
Justin
came.
Nixon.
That's two. Keep your eye on it. That's two first-time starters he's won
with.
Since being down here, Justin Nixon.
Yep.
So, all right, we'll get to race 7. That's a nice turf route, going a mile on the turf. Let's check out race 4. This race also kicks off the middle pick 4, so lots of action in the 4th. We're going a mile on the 16th on the bowl game turf course, rail setting at 17 feet, claiming 16,000 for 3-year-olds and upward. Never won 2 lifetime is the condition. I go with the 3 on top, Grand Oasis. I go with Claudio Gonzalez here. Antonio Quills will ride this 4-year-old by Giants Causeway. That should be some turf pedigree there. He's tried the turf once. That was in his debut last summer. A maiden special weight going long on the turf at Woodbine. That's a tough assignment for anybody's debut, and it didn't run too well that day. But he's run well since then. He had a nice maiden score here at Laurel Park on the main track late March, and so he ran well that day. Ran okay last out against Starter Allowance Company. He gets a drop in class today. He's by Giants Causeway. He should take to the turf a little bit, especially at this level.
Well, you would think he'd take to the turf at this level, and everything about it looks like he will. However, I will caution you, over the last 3 years, over the last 2 years coming this year, Claudio has struggled with his 2-year-olds and his turf horses. Now, last year his 2-year-olds came around. They started running really, really well. Turf horses didn't. He's 0 for 41 on the grass, 0 for 25 going from dirt to turf. So that's his only hole. It's hard to imagine that Claudio has a hole, but that's it. So I'm staying away from Claudio's turf horses for now until he starts winning some races on the grass and finds his way on the grass, because once he does, he'll be winning those races too. I can guarantee it.
He's due. Hopefully he's
due. Well, this
is
a perfect horse to be due with.
Yep,
I mean, it looks like it should win the race, but I tossed it. Didn't use it.
All right, let's take a look at your top pick, the 9, Electro for Mike Trombetta. Trombetta's red hot, 35% winners. He gets Caramanos to ride this 5-year-old by Go Sapper.
And won another one yesterday, but this one comes in out of Gulfstream. I always like when horses come from the south to the north, and I've been running at Gulfstream, and those are pretty tough races, even at this 2 lifetime $16,000 level. Ran a 70 Beyer speed figure on the turf in his last start, only getting beat 3.5 lengths, and fired a 75 here last year while breaking his maiden for 16,000. 3 good works since that last start. Mike Trombetta good off this layoff, 23%, 30 to 60 days. So I'll take Electro, 2-1 on the morning line. Horatio Caramanos rides. They don't. Caramanos doesn't ride a lot for Trombetta, but when they do, they win 21% of the time.
All right, so I like the 9. Top connections for the 9, Electro. I use the 8. Let's talk about the 8 real quick. Jericho Marsh had a nice maiden score going long on the turf last October. Hasn't been back on the turf since then, but trainer Robin Graham keeps this guy going during the winter times. He's dead fit. He's crying to get back on the turf. Katie Davis, good rider on the 8, Jericho Marsh. I'll take a shot at a price that this horse can appreciate getting back to the turf.
And why not? Because you look at his turf races from last fall. They were good efforts with good win in a second with good solid numbers. I trained Jericho Marsh's dam, Blossom Point. She couldn't stand up on the dirt. Her best races were on the turf. So it's all in her pedigree, his pedigree, to get back on the grass and run well.
All right, I didn't use the 7 here. Juniper Avenue for the other Trombetta in here by Kitten's Joy. And this horse likes the turf. We know that already. Had a nice maiden special weight score last summer out there at Indiana.
Yeah, nice maiden special weight score. Another one coming from Gulfstream Park. Ran last March 3rd down there. Didn't run a bad race. I mean, the result looks bad running 8th, but only got beat 3 3/4 lengths at an open $20,000 level. So this could be a little bit of class relief here. Now, taking on older horses for the first time, that was straight 3-year-olds down there, but I'll give Juniper Avenue by Kitten's Joy out of a Grand Slam mare a shot in today's 4th.
And you have a long shot with the 1, Tracy with the Y. Daniel Centeno might, will get a nice ground-saving trip on this 3-year-old by Street Magician. One last out for maiden 10, claimed that day by trainer John Salzman. Salzman with the win here at the meet already. That was with Centeno aboard.
Exactly, and his turf races down at Gulfstream over the winter, again, not bad efforts at that maiden $20,000 level. Now I get those aren't the most spectacular races, but some good results with some decent numbers. Gets claimed, comes in here for this 2 lifetime for $16,000. This is a good spot to try first time on the grass. By Street Magician, who's by Street Cry. We know they run on the grass out of a rock hard 10 mare. I've had some rock hard 10s that really, really liked the turf, so I decided to take Tracy with a Y, 10-1 on the line, Forge, Salzman, and Santino.
Yeah, ran well in the grass last summer here at Laurel Park, second behind the next out winner. So I like the one. I haven't picked, but that's an interesting pick there with a top turf rider, the one Tracy with the Y. Let's turn the page here. Late pick 5 starts in race 5. No carryover. They hit it yesterday for over 6,100. Didn't have any carryover going into yesterday either, and it still paid big. That's industry low, 12% takeout on all the pick 5s here at Laurel Park. Let's take a look at race 5. We're going a mile and a 16th on the Exceller Turf Course rail at 70 feet. It's a 25,000 starter allowance, 3 and up. Never won 2. Lifetime is the condition. I just go with the 5 and the 12 here. And on my early pick 5, I'm 12-5. You're 5-12.
Yeah.
Let's start with the 5 cabinet pick. You get Jevion Toledo to ride this Broken Valve 4-year-old. It's a Colts Neck Stables homebred. Jorge Duarte now training for them, and this horse, big second against 30,000 2-life claimers at Gulfstream back in February, going long on the turf.
The 12 boundary pass for Kelly Rubley. That's what we're talking about, right?
Well, no, the 5 cabinet pick.
Oh, we start with the 5? We start with my top pick? Okay, let's go with cabinet pick then. Yeah, look, this horse is in really, really good form, running good, strong numbers. That race was a great race, 75 Beyer speed figure, got beat a neck. The race before on the grass in that 2 lifetime 50,000, another good race. And again, I like these horses that shift from the south to the north this time of the year. Gets Javion Toledo, comes in here with some good works, including a nice half on the 17th of April for Georgie Duarte. So I like cabinet pick. I have it on top. You have it in your exacta, and you have these two in your pick 5, right?
Yep. On the early pick 5, I go with the 12 boundary pass on top. I like them both. I mean, it's 12-5, 5-12 all day long, but boundary pass has a more recent race, a big maiden score down there at Tampa. Maiden 25 going long, went right to the front and won by almost 10. Big 80 Beyer speed figure, so no surprises. English Channel 4-year-old colt. Likes to turf, a homebred for Gunpowder Farms and trainer Kelly Rubley. Toledo just going to have to try to break sharp on the outside, and he'll be trying to get up there in that front flight of horses going into the first turn.
And this is the second consecutive year that we've seen Kelly Rubley get really hot this time of year, especially when you get back on the turf. But she's got that other little horse, what's his name? Always Mining, who's really hot right now. But she's 3 for 6 here at the meet. That was a big race last time at Tampa. We're breaking his maiden for 25,000. 80 Beyer speed figure. Now, look, if he runs back to that, he's going straight to the winner's circle. He's going to have to do that. Comes in here with some good work since that last race. And Kelly Rubley's pretty good, 26% of the time. Her horses will win 2 races in a row, as Boundary Pass will be trying to do today under Victor Carrasco.
She could be sitting on a monster weekend over there, Black-Eyed Susan.
She could be.
Because she's got a bunch of nice turf horses and other stakes horses, young horses. So, yeah, it could be a nice Preakness meet at Old High Hope, Pimlico for Kelly Rubley. The 6, I didn't use the 6, but I heard good things about this horse. I heard he's doing well in the mornings. Rosario Montanez rides for trainer Robert Vukovic and had a decent second on the turf at Gulfstream last December.
He certainly did, and I think this horse is going to really be happy to get back on the turf since arriving up here from Gulfstream Park over the winter. He just absolutely galloped in that maiden 50 and came back and ran okay on the mud. Not particularly great, but pretty bad actually. Can beat 15 lengths, but then got back to a fast track in his last start in that starter 25,000. by Justin Phillips out of a Machiavellian mare. I think this one's going to really like getting on the turf. Has a decent turf race underneath him already. I think he comes back running again today for Rosario Martinez, and this one's 15-1 on the line.
All right, so big field here in race 5. Let's see if I can wrap up my early pick 5 with either the 12 or the 5 winning. Let's turn the page. Race 6. We'll kick off the late pick 4. We're going 6 furlongs, maiden claiming 10,000 filly mares, 3 and up, and I go with the 6 on top here. Lucy, I Am Home. I wasn't thrilled with anything I saw as far as horses that have run in this race, so I go with the unknown. I go with the first-time starter for Jerry Robb, Eric Reiser, the owner and breeder of this filly by Great R. She's been working right here at Laurel Park. I like the work tab, some nice 5 furlong workouts, including a recent 5 furlong workout from the gate, 101 and 3. That was just last Friday, a week ago. That was a nice move, a nice 6 furlong workout from the gate back in February. So this horse has been working since January, should be dead fit for this 3/4 distance. Rob goes right in for the maiden 10. Xavier Perez will ride. Check the early tote. This filly probably takes some play.
I bet you she does, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if she goes off as favorite.
Sure.
Because this race, you're absolutely right. There's nothing to really fall in love with for horses that have run. So why not go with Lucy I'm Home? Got that one in my exacta. But good works. We've seen Jerry Robb do this. It spots his horses right where he believes they should be, and I think that's happened here today with Lucy I'm Home.
All right, so we both like the 6. I didn't use the 10. Kenny Decker's back in town. He went back to Florida. Now he's back. He did well last time he was stabled here. He had some stakes horses, and he won a bunch of races. So he shows up here with Pigeon Creek with Victor Carrasco.
He certainly does, and we saw Kenny Decker and Jackson Better's Farm do very, very well last year. And I'm in the same boat as you were, picking the first-time starter. I didn't really like any of the horses that we're familiar with, so I'm going to go with this horse who I'm not familiar with. Picks up Victor Carrasco. That's important.
Sure.
Victor, one of our leading riders here, 2 starts back in his debut. Not a bad effort at all. Only got beat 5 lengths going 3/4 of a mile. And comes back at that maiden 10 level at Tampa Bay Downs. Doesn't run particularly well that day, but has had has a nice work since that last race, April 6th at Tampa Bay Downs before shipping up here, 48 flat. So I'm willing to take a shot on Pigeon Creek because Kenny Decker, when he wins, it's usually at a pretty decent price. I'm looking for Pigeon Creek in the 5th today.
And you'll get 8-1, something like that on the 10s. That's a nice price. All right, let's speed along here. Keith Fustel, he's not here today. However, he likes the late pick 3. It starts in race 7. We want to check out that. We want to save time for the Stronach 5, but let's take a look here. There's Keith's late pick 3 ticket. Now, he likes a horse in race 8. He likes, in race 8, he likes the 7. Leroy Sweetie Pie, 7-2 morning line. First time in the Lacey Gaudette barn. Joan Rosado will ride. So, Keith, he's going to single on the 7. Leroy Sweetie Pie in race 8. Now he has he goes 5 deep here in race 7 with the 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. And then he goes 7 deep in race 9 with the 2, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. So if he can get a single home in race 8, he's hoping for a nice price in race 7 or 9. Maybe we can get a nice big late pick 3 payout. So there's his ticket. Very affordable play. Let's take a look here at race 7. A nice first level allowance, 3 and up. We're going a mile on the bowl game, rail at 17 feet. That's a nice big field here in race 7. We have a video spotlight. Let's start there with the 8. We both use the 8 here. Tempt Me Twice. You get the leading rider, Trevor McCarthy. Here's the race from last summer right here at Laurel Park, last July 1st.
Yeah, this is a nice race for Tempt Me Twice. Got beat that day by Shadow Dizavizil, was a pretty nice horse of King Leatherberry's and Maru's Raven that day, and hung in there pretty well. Gets beat late here on the wire, more or less. Gets beat a length and a half for the whole thing, but a good positive race at that starter $25,000 level. Now comes back here in the end, and ran a couple of decent races after that. Comes back off a little bit of a break at this other than level. I use Tempt Me Twice. I think she's going to need need one. He's going to need one, maybe two, because even when he was in really, really good form last year, I mean, he got the job done going 5.5 furlongs. Now he comes back going a mile off the layoff. I think it's going to be a little tough for him. He's on my ticket, don't get me wrong, but I think he might be a little up against it.
He did post a big 84 buyer with that mile turf win against Starter Company at Delaware last August. He must be working well in the morning to get McCarthy to take the call here in a big field. So that's the 8. Tempt Me Twice. Let's take a look at our top picks. I go with the 1, a price here. Julio Correa, the Bug Boy, rides the 1. I Ain't Never, 10-1 morning line. I drew a line through the odds, 10-1, right?
On 10-1. Yeah, 10-1.
10-1 for Hammy Smith. His brother Gory bred this South Carolina, a 4-year-old by Hugo. He's a 2-time winner on the Laurel grass. He got very good last August on the Laurel turf. He won 2 sprints, a maiden just 16,000, and then a 16,000 2 life. Yes, cheap races, but he got a respectable buyers, a 67 with that win last August. Those were both sprints going short, and now I think he's going to like to stretch out to a mile today on the turf. He's coming off the layoff. You know he'll be fit. I like the work tab, and he'll get a ground-saving trip.
Well,
so
I think
take a shot here.
I think that's key with I Ain't Never. That inside draw. He's got some speed when he went long on the main track. Comes in here with some good works. I think Correa will use his speed down toward the fence to try to get to the lead and control it from up there. By Hugo, who's by Stormy Atlantic. We know those Stormy Atlantics just love the turf, and this one's got positive races on the turf out of a grub mare for Hammy Smith. But the races are there, and I'm sure he's going to try to control the pace right from the get-go.
Let's take a look at your top pick. I didn't use the 10 at all, but you get Sheldon Russell. Russell with a win yesterday. He rides this 4-year-old by Galileo, the world's leading sire. So good to see a Galileo offspring show up here in race 7.
Well, certainly. I mean, he was running okay over in Europe and then came to the North America, made his debut in the first week of February. Not a bad effort that particular day. He earned a pretty good number in a 66 buyer speed figure, but then comes back, and even though this horse runs 10th over a good course at the fairgrounds on March 5th, he only gets beat 4.5 lengths for the whole thing. Now he comes off a little bit of vacation. He's a first-time gelding today. Comes in here with 3 good works down at Keeneland, including a nice half on March 30th and on August 6th, 48 and change. Sheldon Russell gets the call from out there. I think there's going to be some speed on the inside. I think Sheldon makes all the right decisions from there. So I'm going to take Family Tree. This is my single on my Rainbow Pick 6, 9-2 on the morning line for Jeremiah O'Dwyer.
All right, a bold single, 9-2. Nice price there on the 10 Family Tree. Let's speed along here. Race 8 to kick off the late daily double, and then we need to spend some time on that big Stronach 5 starting in race 9. Race 8, we're going 6 furlongs, maiden claiming 40,000. Filly mares 3 and up, and I go with the 2, Jump for Sally on top. You do as well. A jump start filly, a good third against maiden special weight last out for Tim Keefe. She gets a little class relief today. Forest Boyce will ride. We're both on the favorite Jump for Sally.
Yeah, she hasn't run a bad race. She ran one bad race, and that was over a muddy track, and some horses don't handle mud. Even though she'd run well in the slop, there's a big difference between mud and slop. She's never done anything. She's answered every question. She just needs to answer this final question, breaking her maiden, but she's honest, and I think she shows up today.
All right, so we both like a 2-4. The 4 Salt Works, a 3-year-old filly by Bulls Bay. She's out of that Mine Shaft mare, Sheave. She's a half-sister to Kentucky Oaks winner Catherine Sophia. A useful third-end debut at this level, early April, third, beaten less than 5 lengths, so she's right back in here at the same level. She's come back with a nice positive work last Friday, going 5/8, 101 and 3. Sheldon Russell stays aboard for Katie Voss. I think the 4 Salt Works going to be a factor here in race 8.
No question about it. She'll move forward off that race with that work. In that race, she goes to the outside, and you can just see her starting to get a little tired, start to climb a little bit late in the race. I don't think that happens today. She will run much better today for Katie Voss.
All right, let's speed along here. Race 9 is going to get a lot of national attention. It kicks off the popular national wager. The Stronach 5 starts right here at Laurel Park today in race 9. It's a big field. We have 14 in here, right? Well, we'll get to that. Well, there's the guarantee, $100,000 guarantee. They've been betting about 200,000 into it every week. It paid. You had 19 winning tickets last Friday for a little over 9,300. Let's check out the sequence of races. Laurel Park, race 9, 5:09 Eastern Time to start. Then we go to Gulfstream, race 9. We stay at Gulfstream for race 10. Then out to Golden Gate Fields, race 5. Then Santa Anita Park, race 5. So a little bit over an hour, 4 different tracks, bunch of big fields on the turf. Tim and I have tickets. You should have a ticket. Everybody should have a ticket for the Stronach 5. Tim, let's check out your ticket first.
Yeah, nice, affordable $48 ticket here today, and I go 3 deep in Leg A here at Laurel Park using the 7, the 9, and the 14. That's the 7 Kitten's Friend, the 9 Freezing Waters, and the 14 Sunday Red. Daniel Santino rides for John Salzman. Leg B, I go 4 deep using the 2 Cut to Order, the 5 Lewis Vale for Peter Walder, the 6 Could Be for David Fox, and the 9 Naughty Buoy for Natalie Fox. 4 deep in Leg B. Leg C, back to Gulfstream Park, 2 deep. Use the 4 Poe for Stanley Gold and the 8 Absolute Grit for Eddie Pleasa, both first-time starters. Eddie Pleasa, 21% with his 2-year-olds. Always been very, very good with his 2-year-olds. Golden Gate Field, I use 2. I use the 5 Tina and the 9 Office Chicks. Those 2 in 3-1 Office Chicks in Leg D. And Leg E, even though I've been jilted by Jerry again, if you fall off your horse you've got to get back on your horse. So I'm going to single Sea's Journey for Jerry Allendorfer in the last at Santa Anita. $48 ticket. Good luck if you play along in the Stronach 5. And you should.
Well, let's check out my ticket real quick. A $60 ticket. There it is. Now you can study all of our tickets on the laurelpark.com website. Underneath the handicapping section, I use my single in Leg D, Golden Gate Fields, race 5 at Golden Gate. I single in Office Chicks there. It's a nice starter allowance going a mile on the turf. I like the 9 Office Chicks. Blinkers go back on. And this 4-year-old filly, 5 for 5 in the money at Golden Gate with a win on their turf course. So I single on the 9 Office Chicks in Leg D at Golden Gate Fields, race 5. Let's take a look at the first leg here at Laurel Park. Big field, 5.5 furlongs on the Exceller, rail at 70 feet, maiden claiming 25,000, filly and mares 3 and up, and I guess I chalk it up here a little bit in race 9. I go with the 9, so do you. The 9, Frisian Waters by Frisian Fire, has been running okay recently. A decent third, 2 back for maiden 40. Showed speed that day, opened up by 5, and then just got a little tired. That was back in late February. Then kind of ran a clunker last out for maiden 25. She was the beaten favored. She was 6 to 5 in there. She stumbled, tried to get the lead, couldn't, finished an okay 4th. Now she gets to the turf for the second time. She tried turf when she was a 2-year-old, going long on the turf in her second start. Just forget about that. Now she's a 4-year-old filly. She's in better form. She has early speed. She gets a good outside post for a red-hot barn trainer, Mike Trumbetto.
I agree with that. Getting the Bug Boy in with 119 pounds, getting 7 pounds for most of the field by Freezing Fire out of a Stormy Atlantic mare. Anytime I see that, that picks my head up, and you're absolutely right. Just toss a line, draw a line through their 1 turf start, which was going a mile, and she probably doesn't want to go that far on any distance, but she gets to go 5.5 on the grass today. I think it's going to suit.
And we both like the 14 on the outside. Sunday Red gets Daniel Centeno to ride the Super 99 filly coming off the layoff for John Salzman. This filly's shown speed on the main track. I'm hoping she can show speed from the outside with Centeno on the turf today.
I think she will. Her 2 starts back for the main 25, going 5.5 furlongs on the main track was a good effort, a lifetime effort. Now she's going to have to move up on the turf, and I expect that's what Connections hope she does. I think she will. And, of course, you're getting Santino, and you've got some good works coming in to this race.
And the 7 also should be right there. Kitten's Friend from Mike Girales. Forest Boys will ride this 4-year-old filly had a good third against maiden 16,000 about a year ago here at Laurel Park. Hasn't run too well since then, but at least does have a positive outing on the turf.
Well, it's the 3 positive outings on the turf last year, and they were all good enough to win this race by the numbers, no question about that. And her latest turf effort last June here at Laurel Park, she only got beat a length and a quarter while earning a good number. So by Friends of Foe out of a Kitten's Joy mare, I don't think you can leave this one out under Forest Boyce.
All right, that's it. We're out of time. A big field, a big one. We have 14 in here. Scratch the 8, little skiff. But the 15 two-step sis draws in Trevor McCarthy on the 15 two-step sis who draws in off the AE. So we'll have a big 14-horse field in race 9 to kick off that Stronach 5. That's it. We're out of time. Dave Robbins coming up next with scratches and changes. Good luck.